Good day friends, today I will be dealing with the topic nutrition and digestion in human beings. What do you understand with the term nutrition? Nutrition means taking in of food or preparation of food. For human beings it is taking in of food because human being is basically a heterotroph. For autotrophs, that is the green plants and microbes, they can manufacture their own food from the raw materials available in the nature. Hence, they can prepare food, but they have to consume food prepared by the autotrophs. So, in case of us, it is nutrients. All the nutrients. Nutrients means the food. Basically, nutrients means the food. The category of nutrients are carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, needs to have very important part, that is pH. And obviously, you need water. So, carbohydrate, fats, protein, vitamins, minerals are important. This is the broad category of nutrients. Now, I'll start with carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates consist of two parts. One is the carbo part, and the next is the hydrate part. Carbohydrates basically has a carbon, and hydrate means water. Water has a component like this. So the ratio of hydrogen to oxygen is 2:1 along with carbon. So the basic example of a carbohydrate is C6H12O6. Here it is 2:1. The basic example of this is sugar is this, and this is your glucose. This is your sugar. So you have carbon and you have two other elements, hydrogen and oxygen, but the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is always 2:1. So this is your carbohydrates. Carbohydrates consist of our staple food. Staple food means we consume maximum in the form of carbohydrates. The breakdown product of carbohydrate, or the digestive end product, breakdown product or digestive end product is glucose. Right? So this is a carbohydrate. It consists of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and as a result of digestion, it is broken down into glucose. Now, the basic unit of carbohydrate, is a saccharide unit. Saccharide unit. There is a structural and functional unit of a carbohydrate. A saccharide unit, depending upon the number of saccharide units, you have monosaccharide. Then you have two saccharide units called as disaccharides. Next, you have many saccharide units called as polysaccharides. And above the level of polysaccharide, you have oligosaccharides. So these are the different forms of saccharide units you have. Right? Monosaccharide, disaccharide, polysaccharide, and oligosaccharides. Now, so much for your carbohydrate. Next comes fats. Fats also consist of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, but the amount of hydrogen and oxygen is not 2:1. Right? An example of fatty acid is C17H35COOH. So this is an example of fatty acid or fats. You have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, but they do not operate the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen do not occur in the ratio of 2:1, right? The breakdown product or digestive end product of fat, digestive end product of fat is fatty acids and glycerol. Here you have fatty acids and you have glycerol. Glycerol has a formula like this: CH2OH, CH2OH, and CH2OH. This is your glycerol. And I have said about the fatty acids on top. Now, fats provide us a cushioning material for the body. Fats provide us a protective and an insulating material for the body. And there are many vitamins. There is a type of vitamin called as vitamins. There are two types. One is called as water soluble vitamins. Water soluble vitamins which is soluble in water, and the other is fat soluble vitamins. The fat soluble vitamins are there are four types. This is A, B, E, and K, right? And water soluble vitamins is the B complex and C. This is the difference of the vitamins. These fat soluble vitamins requires fats for the process of transport from one part of the body to the other. So, this is your fats. The next is proteins. Proteins also consist of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, but an additional thing that is present in protein is nitrogen. That makes the difference. That is the difference of the protein with that of carbohydrates and fats. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. Optional elements are sulfur, iron, etc. Iron is present in hemoglobin, that is the protein that is found in our blood. Sulfur is present in egg yolk, or albumin. So, this is about proteins. The basic structure of a protein is something like this. You have one hydrogen, you have one carboxylic acid group, you have one amino group, and you have one methyl radical. R dash stands for a alkyl radical. That may be CH3, that may be CH3, CH2, that may be CH3, CH2, CH2, or so on. R dash means this is an amino group, this is the carboxylic acid group, and this is one hydrogen. So this is about the basic structure of protein. Now the breakdown products after digestion, protein forms what? Amino acids. Amino acids are very vital. Every living cell of the human beings or every living cells of the higher animals and plants contains 20 amino acids. 20 amino acids forms your amino acid pool. So these are 20 amino acids. Right? And the example of amino acids is methionine, threonine, glycine, tryptophan, leucine, isoleucine, etc. Right? So these are examples of amino acids for you. Now proteins are the building blocks of the matter. Everything in our body consists of proteins. I will give you an example for that. Proteins are the building blocks. There are types of proteins. These are the types of proteins. The structural protein is keratin and collagen fibers. Keratin and collagen fibers. Where it is present, they are present over here. And they are present over here. Horns, hairs, nails, etc. And obviously, to some extent, skin. Number B, apart from the structural protein, you have contractile protein. Contractile protein means proteins which helps in the process of contraction relaxation. This is actin and myosin. They are present in our muscles. Number C, transport protein. Transport protein. Protein which helps in transport, that is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin transports. It transports what? Transports oxygen and carbon dioxide within the transport oxygen and carbon dioxide within the body. Number D, digestive protein. Digestive protein. The best example for this is amylase. This is the protein that is found within the saliva. Digestive protein. Number E, structural protein, contractile protein, transport protein, digestive protein. Next is immunological protein. Immunological protein. Immunological protein means proteins which helps up in building up of our body immunity. The alpha, beta, and the gamma globulin. Next is immunological protein. The next is your regulatory protein. Regulatory protein is insulin that regulates the blood sugar content of the body. That regulates the blood sugar. Insulin that regulates the blood sugar content of the body. Right? So these are the various types of proteins. Proteins are found everywhere actually. Why? Because every cell has got a cell membrane or a plasma membrane, and the constituent of the plasma membrane is the lipoprotein complex. So you can see that everywhere there is a play of proteins. Next, I move to I have done with the most important type of nutrients, and they are called as carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Do you know what they are called together? They are called as proximate principles. The nutrients are again divided into the following types. The energy building type. That consists of carbohydrates and fats. This is energy building type. Next is body building type. Body building type consists of what? Vitamins and minerals. Number C. Energy, body building, and number C is protective and regulative type. You have proteins and minerals. Now, I go to the different types of, the different stages by which these nutrients are used within the body. And the charm that is associated with this process of taking in of the food and all this thing, it is called as nutrition. So heterotropic nutrition, or the nutrition in heterotrophs has got the following stages. Number one is ingestion of the food. Number two is digestion of the food. Number three is absorption of the food. Number four, assimilation of the food. And last of all is ingestion. So these are the steps in heterotropic nutrition. So first of all, we will start with ingestion of the food. So what is ingestion? Ingestion means taking in of food inside the mouth. To ingest means to take in the food inside the mouth of the oral cavity. Now, within the mouth, you have several things. The first is the teeth. The mode of arrangement of teeth within the mouth is called as dentition. Now, dentition, there are a few adjectives associated with dentition. The first of all is heterodont. Number B is hippodont. Number C is diphyodont. I will explain each one of them. And next comes unodont. Right. So these are the four adjectives associated with dentition. Heterodont means what? Existence of four different types of teeth. Having different functions. Within the human body, there exist, or within the mouth rather, there exist four different types of teeth. Incisor, canine, premolar, molar. And the four functions of the teeth are biting, cleaning, splitting, and grinding. So we first go on to the word heterodont. Hetero means different. There are four different types of teeth. Incisor, canine means to have premolar, and last of all molar. Is molar. Now, the teeth are not just found anywhere. There is a definite sequence of the teeth, and this definite sequence of the teeth is referred to as dental formula. As you have formula in chemistry, you have formula. There are lots of formula within biology also. Dental formula is one of the formulas. There is a formula associated with the flowers, the mode of arrangement of different parts. That is the calyx, the corolla, the endoecium, the gynoecium flowers. They are referred to as the floral formula. How they are arranged, how they are found. So that is the floral formula. Next is, now the dental formula in case of human beings is like this. This is the dental formula of human adults. Right? You divide the mouth into two parts like this from the beginning, and you take one side. There is two incisors on top, there is two incisors at the bottom. And at the lower jaw. There is one canine on top and one canine just below it. You have two premolars on the upper jaw, two premolars on the lower jaw. There are three molars on the upper jaw, there are three molars on the lower jaw. That makes what? 2 plus 1, 3, and 2, 5, and 3, 8. 8 plus 8 is 16, into 2 is 32. So that is the total dental formula of human beings. Now, how do a teeth actually look like? A teeth actually looks like this. This is how a teeth actually looks like. This is the enamel. This is the dental. Together they are called as crown. The crown of the teeth. Next you have what is called as the back cavity. Next you have the cementa of the jaw. Cementa of the jaw. Right? These are blood capillaries. And at the base you have what is called as nerve endings. So these are the things. You have enamel on top, protected. Then you have the dentine, the basic structure to which the teeth is made up of. The back cavity, the inner cavity into which the blood capillaries and the nerve endings open out, and this is the section through a teeth. Section through a teeth. Now, within the mouth, there are several other things. The next thing is obviously is the saliva. Where does the saliva comes from? The saliva comes from three basic pair of salivary glands. The three basic pair of salivary glands are found over here. One is over here, just below the ears. You have the parotid gland. Just below the lower jaw, you have submaxillary gland. Just below the tongue, you have the sublingual gland. Right? And occasionally there is a gland that is found just underneath the orbit of the eye. You have the sub-infraorbital gland. So you have four different types of glands: the parotid, the submaxillary, the sublingual, and the infraorbital. So these are the four different types of salivary glands. What are the products of the salivary gland? Obviously, it is the saliva. Now, what is saliva? Saliva contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. Now, what are enzymes? Enzymes are biological catalysts. They are produced by the living cells. The salivary amylase, previously it was called as thiamine, but now it is called as salivary amylase. Salivary amylase does this process. It converts amylose. Amylose is a type of carbohydrate. Amylose is converted into maltose. The maltose is a simpler carbohydrate. Now the first level of digestion takes place within the mouth. This is the first level of digestion. The saliva contains salivary amylase, and this salivary amylase breaks down amylose into maltose. So the first level of digestion. Now what is digestion actually? Digestion is a biochemical process in which the complex food taken in is broken down into simpler forms by the action of juices and enzymes produced within the digestive tract. So this is digestion. Now, the next thing within the mouth is, everything the mouth is obviously tongue. And on the tongue you have the taste buds. Suppose this is the tongue, this is the taste buds for you. You have the taste buds. You have salt, you have the taste buds, you have sweet taste buds over here, you have sour taste buds over here, and you have bitter taste buds over here. So, what is there in the middle, sir? In the middle, there is a neutral zone. That means it contains something of everything. Not any particular type of taste bud, but here you can taste everything. The salt, the sour, the sweet, and the bitter. So these are the zonations of taste. Zonations of taste. On the tongue. Now the next thing is how do the taste buds look like? They look like this. This is called as taste papillae. And below the taste papillae, you have what is called as the nerve endings. This is the nerve endings. And these are the taste papillae. Now you may be wondering, what is there within the zonations of the tongue that causes the difference of the taste? It is the amount of zymogen granules that is found within them. These are a particular type of chemicals found within the cells, which is responsible for the various taste sensation within the mouth. So we have three things within the mouth. First I have done its teeth, next is the saliva, and last of all the taste buds. For the teeth, I have only told you about the heterodont definition. The next is apodont. Every teeth is placed within the jaws like this. It is placed within the jaws like this. So this process is called as apodontism, or the phenomenon is called as apodont. Diphyodont means we have two different sets of teeth. First, sometime after birth, small little teeth comes out, and that is the milk teeth. The milk teeth is replaced by permanent teeth. Now the milk teeth may also be called as deciduous teeth also. If the milk teeth is replaced by permanent teeth, we call it as a diphyodont. Means two sets of teeth throughout the life. Last of all is a burodont. Burodont is not seen in case of human beings, but it is seen in case of rats. For them, the teeth continuously grows throughout life, and it grows and locks the two jaws like this. So they have to chisel. They have to continuously use their teeth for almost all the 24 hours of the day. So they bite and chew and chisel anything they find, any stuff they find on the way. So that is the case of burodont dentition. So everything inside the mouth is complete. Now there are two sets of muscles over here. For the upper jaw and the lower jaw, there are masseter muscles over here. As a result of the masseter muscles and the teeth, the food that is taken in is chewed, masticated, and converted into a pulp-shaped structure, a ball-shaped structure called as bolus. Once the food actually goes into this base of the throat, the bolus has two openings at the base of the throat. The two openings are, one opening is obviously the air tube or the respiratory tract, the trachea, and the next opening is the digestive tube or the alimentary canal. Between the two tubes over here at the base of the throat, there is a flap, and this flap is called as epiglottis. This flap is called as epiglottis. It covers the windpipe. Suppose this one is the windpipe. It covers the windpipe like this so that no particles of food happens to enter into it. If by chance a particle of the food happens to enter into the windpipe, death may also occur. It is very serious and the lungs are very, very delicate in nature. So we cannot afford to do this. This is the alimentary canal or the food pipe. Now I will draw for you the entire digestive tract in case of human beings. It's a big diagram, I know, but for the purpose of this lecture and the video, I have to do it. So this is the diagram of the digestive tract for you, the alimentary canal, right? This is also called as esophagus or gut, right? So it starts with the mouth, and I have said everything within the mouth. So after the process of mastication, chewing is completed, and a little part of digestion also occurs due to the saliva, the salivary amylase. The bolus actually enters into this digestive tract. Now this digestive tract is a flattened pipe-like mechanism. Trachea remains open throughout the 24 hours. But digestive tract is a tape-like device. It is not open. Had the digestive tract remained open, then every bolus that is deglutited. Deglutition means the action of swallowing. As a result of deglutition, the bolus would come down straight from the mouth into the stomach, and every time it would hit with an acceleration due to gravity of 9.8 meter per second square. That would be dangerous, deleterious for the body. So in order to have a controlled entry, the digestive tract, by an alternate process of contraction and relaxation of the muscles, which is called as peristalsis, the bolus actually enters the stomach. Now, at the starting point of the stomach, you have a sphincter, you have a controlling muscle. The cardiac end of the stomach is guarded by cardiac sphincter, or it is also called as gastro-esophageal sphincter. Esophageal sphincter. Right? Now, the food has entered into your semi-solid food has entered into the stomach. Now, the stomach is a J-shaped organ. It is a J-shaped organ, and the main body of the stomach is called as funding stomach or fundus. The end point of the stomach over here is called as the pyloric end, and it has a sphincter also. After the stomach, you have a small tube called as duodenum. The two sides of the duodenum, you have liver and pancreas, and there is a small bladder over here called as gallbladder. I will go into every one of them and their functions. Next is a small tube called as jejunum. After duodenum comes jejunum. Next comes the small intestine, a very big tube, turned and tortuously coiled tube, almost 8 feet. The small intestine is called as ileum. And last of all, you have the colon, the large intestine. The colon is also called as large intestine. Right? So this is the digestive tract for you. Now I have said everything about the digestion within the mouth. Now I will go straight up into the stomach. So we'll start with stomach. The bolus has now entered into the stomach, and within the stomach, from the gastric mucosa comes out gastric juice. Now, gastric juice has many components. Gastric juice has 0.5% HCl in it, right? And that is an extra stimulant. I will tell you about the functions of HCl, but gastric juice contains pepsin, it contains renin, and it contains gastric lipase. Pepsin acts on proteins. Pepsin acts on proteins, converting it into peptides and ketones. Renin acts on milk, coagulates it. Milk is converted into what? Paneer. Next, gastric lipase, lipids are converted into triglycerides, monoglycerides, and so on. So this is now. What is the function of HCl? 0.5% HCl within the gastric juice. HCl actually stops the action of salivary amylase on food, and it makes the food acidic in nature. It makes the gastric enzymes. These are gastric enzymes actually. Gastric enzymes functional. They are present within the stomach in a non-functional state, inactive state. The gastric enzymes are non-functional so that they can work. They kill the microbe that may have accidentally entered into the stomach along with the food, and they help in teasing off of the muscles, enabling better digestion. So this is the function of the gastric juice. Now, the gastric juice along with the semi-solid foods, along with the semi-solid food of the stomach, semi-solid, half-digested food, within the stomach, they are together called as chyne, chyne, chyne. Right? Now, the function of stomach is complete. Now, this semi-solid food comes to the pyloric end, it gets a little push, the sphincter muscles open, and it comes into the duodenum. Now, duodenum is a very serious place. The digestive juice from the pancreas and the bile juice from the liver, they act on food in the duodenum. The food doesn't go to the pancreas, the food doesn't go to the liver, but it remains in the duodenum, and the juices from pancreas and liver comes and acts over here. So it is something like the cricket grounds of Sharjah, Abu Dhabi, and so on. There are no original players of that land, but India, Pakistan, India, West Indies, India, England, or India, New Zealand goes to play matches over there, and they are very happy. They are very happy looking at the game of cricket and enjoying every action. For all the cricketers, they enjoy equally. The Judinam is something like that. Now I am going to draw the part of Judinam. This is your liver, the largest organ of the body. This is pancreas, a leaf-like organ, a very small, very delicate organ, found just below the stomach. And this is the duodenal part. This is the duodenal part, mind you. This is duodenum. This is pancreas. This is pancreatic duct. Pancreatic duct. This is your liver. This is the liver. This is gallbladder. This is your bile duct. And this is your cystic duct. Right? What happens in the duodenum? From the liver comes out bile juice. Bile juice has two components: the bile pigments and the bile salts. The bile pigments are of two types: bilirubin and biliverdin. And the bile salts are of two types: sodium chlorocholate, and sodium glycolate. Right? Now, what happens for the pancreas? Pancreas is a heterocrine gland. Minded, pancreas produces a lot of hormones also, but pancreas has digestive functions. Pancreas produces pancreatic juice. And pancreatic juice has three enzymes within it. The pancreatic juice has three enzymes within it. One is amylopsin. Next is trypsin. And the third one is lipase. Amylopsin acts on amylose, converting it into glucose. Trypsin acts on amino acids. Trypsin actually acts on proteins rather, converting them into amino acids. And lipase acts on lipids, converting them into fatty acids and glycerol. So, the amylopsin acts on aminos, converting it into glucose. The trypsin acts on proteins, converting it into amino acids. And lipase acts on lipids, converting it into fatty acids and glycerol. So, these functions, the function of the liver, the function of the pancreas, takes place within the duodenum region. From the pancreas, the pancreatic duct sends the material over here. The liver sends the bile juice into the gallbladder where it is stored for some time. Once the food from the stomach comes into this duodenum region, then only the cystic duct opens over here. The cystic duct opens over here, releasing the contents of the liver. So the functions takes place in the duodenum, but it is actually the function of pancreas and the liver. This is the digestive function. What happens for the liver? A liver doesn't have any digestive function for that matter. Liver only helps in emulsification of the fats, breaking down of larger globules or larger molecules of fat into smaller microbes or smaller globules. That is emulsification of fats. And liver helps in detoxification of waste of the body. So it makes the waste produced within the bodies a little bit detoxified, means reducing its toxic or zehriya effect. Right? So this is about your duodenum. Next, the food now comes into ileum. Ileum means small intestine. In the small intestine, there comes out intestinal juice. Intestinal juice is also known as succus entericus. Succus entericus. And intestinal juice contains all these things: amylopsin, trypsin, lipase, your maltase, sucrase, invertase, chymotrypsin, trypsinogen, chymotrypsin, right? But endoxin, trypsin, lipase, maltase, sucrase, invertase, trypsinogen, and next you have galactase. So a lot of things comes out of the intestinal juice. What happens for amylopsin? Amylopsin does a function like this. It converts amylose into glucose. Trypsin converts proteins into amino acids. Chymotrypsin also proteins into amino acids. Trypsinogen is proteins into amino acids. Galactase converts galactose into glucose. Invertase converts fructose into glucose. Sucrase converts sucrose into glucose. Maltase converts maltose into glucose. And lipase converts lipids into fatty acids and glycerol. So, what is the sum and substance of this? All carbohydrates are converted into glucose. All fats are converted into fatty acids and glycerol. And last of all proteins are converted into amino acids. So this is the sum and substance of digestion within the small intestine. Last level of digestion occurs within the small intestine. Now small intestine is actually turned tortuous and white tube like this. Now if you magnify a small little part over here, it would appear like this. It has finger-like projections, and this finger-like projections is called as villi. This is called as villi. I am enlarging the villi over here. This is the villi. These finger-like projections are called as villi. Right? Now, within the villi, you have what is called as, within the villi, you have blood capillaries. You have the blood capillaries over here. You have lacteals over here, blood capillaries, lacteals over here. Next, you have what is called as, this is the villi, and these are blood capillaries. Right? And these are lacteals. And you have some important cells over here. Some cells are also present, absorptive cells. They are called as crypts of Liverpool. Right? Now, when the food passes, the simplest food in the form of glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, and so on, that passes through here, they are easily absorbed by the blood capillaries. And now the blood transports the simplest food to each and every cells of the body for further usage. Now, once the glucose, the amino acids, the fatty acids, and the glycerol absorption part is complete over here. Once the glucose, amino acids, fatty acids, and glycerol are transported to each and every cells of the body, then it is undergoing another process called as assimilation. Conversion of this food into protoplasmic matter is called as assimilation, and we are now left with the leftover part of the food, the undigestible part of the food, and that is called as the undigestible part of the food is to be digested now. Digested means getting rid of the non-digestible residue. For this, you have to come to the large intestine. This is your large intestine. But the connection of the small intestine and the large intestine, there is a very vital organ, and that very vital organ is called as vermiform appendix. Vermiform appendix is a vestigial organ. When I will deal with you the genetics and the evolution part, I will tell you about appendix. Vestigial organ means organs which are presently out of use due to continuous misuse or disuse. Appendix is not used by us, but if you overstimulate it by using overfried and spicy foods, then you suffer from appendicitis. So don't consume the overfried, the deep fried foods and the spicy foods continuously. Once here and there, once in a blue moon you can consume it, but not every day. Don't make it a routine of your life. Right? But before that appendix. Now, large intestine is also called as colon. In colon, what happens is absorption of water. Absorption of water takes place. If this does not occur, if this absorption of water does not occur, then what happens is colitis. Colitis means watery stools. Watery stools. Now, all the non-digestible material now comes to a region called as rectum. This region is called as rectum. I have already drawn for you. And there is a pair of muscles which controls the products over here. Suppose These are the products over here. Now this products over here is controlled by means of what? Sigmoid flexor. A sigmoid flexor. And the outlet from the body is called as anus, through which stool is discharged out. Stool or feces is discharged out. Now, what is digestion? Digestion is the process of getting rid of non-digestible material from the body in the form of feces. Right? So, don't mix up digestion and excretion. Excretion is the process of getting rid of metabolic waste from the body, which if allowed to accumulate would turn toxic, leading to the death of the organism. Digestion is the process of getting rid of non-digestible materials from the body in the form of stools or feces. And we excrete out urine, we ingest out feces. Now there are two small things. One is vomiting. Vomiting means what? Due to hyperacidity symptoms, fast gripping of the stomach occurs, gripping of stomach, and then you have anti-peristalsis, and all the half digested food from the stomach comes out of the mouth. And the last problem is constipation. Constipation means failure to have bowel movements. Bowel movements is peristalsis. Now, if you don't have regular bowel movements or good bowel movements, you won't have peristalsis and you would not regularly discharge out your stools. So, if that occurs for more than 48 hours, if after 48 hours no discharge of stool occurs, you are said to be suffering from constipation. And this only occurs when you don't get enough amount of roughage with the food. Roughage is a non-digestible part, but it adds to the bulk of the food and it helps in peristalsis and it helps in getting rid of all the non-digestible material. One small little thing, when the food comes into the intestine, the large intestine, the intestinal juice mixes it up. It's a semi-digested food, a half-digested food. Now here, the technical term of the food is chyne, C-H-Y-N-E. In stomach, it was chyne. In intestine, it is chyne, C-H-Y-N-E. Chyne. So everywhere, the name keeps on changing. I hope you like this video very much. A small concept on nutrition and digestion, very good for your exams. Thank you and have a nice day.